my God, girl, we need to talk about. We need to throw that in there.
We do need to talk about that. We have started.
All right.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Welcome everybody to your Essential Detox podcast with Ebony.
And I'm Pearl. We so goofy.
Y'all caught us on a whole thing that we'll probably talk about. Yeah, we'll probably talk about it either today or the next podcast.
Next podcast.
It just depends, but it is great to be here with you, Pearl, yet again for our second podcast. Look at us.
Yes, we are rolling them on out. And I do want to thank the viewers and the listeners who tuned into us. We got a lot of positive feedback.
Nice.
I know a lot of my coworkers, because I sent it to everybody on my team. Mm-hmm. They loved it. Even some of my friends who I game with, they loved it. So thank you so much for the support. And we're still going to keep on pushing out this content as long as we're not tired from working.
Because that is definitely something that's the
deciding factor right there.
It is, because we are working adults and we are tired. So it happens, and hopefully y'all understand and y'all can be like, oh my God, like I feel like this every day. But because we love, we're developing the love for podcasting and just talking in general about the stuff that's going on in the world. We're gonna do our best to come and give y'all something as much as we can and as much as possible. Absolutely.
So let's get talking on the first docket. Now, this is something that you sent to me, and I liked it.
Yes. So about 2 weeks ago, on July 15th, there were a group of pastors that got together and organized a protest on the Capitol, on the Texas Capitol, for Texas voting suppression. And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's pretty much the government trying to put on harsher requirements for voters. And so like stuff for like ID requirements and just all these other things. And so I didn't watch the full live because it was on Facebook Live. And so for those of y'all that have Facebook, I say like try and find this thing and look at it, because it was very powerful. They're like, these 5 Black men got together, who are believers in Christ and who go and preach the gospel. They all got together and they were like, look, we need to go and do something about this. And so there were moments where, they were praying, they were reading verses from the Bible. At some point, they were on the inside of the Capitol building and they were read verses, praying, and they done broke out into all kinds of hymns. Girl, it was amazing. I was like,
yes.
Ooh. And I just, and I wanted to talk about this because both of us as young adults, and just young individuals, period, and a lot of our listeners are young, or are going to be young, whoever starts listening, whatever. But it's important for us as young Black women, young Black men, to really understand how important voting is. And for a government that knows nothing about our communities to want to suppress our voice, we've been suppressed and oppressed for so many years that it's like, no, y'all not about to keep doing this to us, and we're gonna stand up for ourselves. And so and
they don't like that. They don't like that.
Oh no. And so just the outpour of support and individuals getting small clusters of people together to protest, to march, to do all these things to get people registered to vote. Like, It's really, 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 truly amazing. And I'm just loving what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing about all of this because it's very much so important. And that's why, for me, like, no matter what election it is, whether it's a national, statewide, or a local election, I'm always voting. You know, even if I
Likewise.
don't like, even if I don't completely know or understand, just the fact that I have the right to vote, I'm gonna vote.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do my research on the people that I'm voting for to make sure that I'm voting the right people in. You know, so, and that's what I think is the biggest thing is, you know, I hate hearing black people say they don't vote, and it's like, okay, why aren't
Or
you
they vote
voting?
don't count. Or they vote don't
And
count.
yeah, but it's like what you don't understand is it does, and especially in these state and local, um, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I know
Words
what you're
just done
saying.
lost me, but I mean, I'm very passionate about this because, you know, for me in 2008, that was my first time voting,
Mine too.
and yeah, and
I
so
went to the polls with my mom. We went up to the sock and we
yeah,
voted.
yeah, and so for me, I didn't go to the polls, but I got the poll mailed to me, and that was the way that I voted. And so for me, like, you know, for me to be at a point where I could vote, and it was the year that my great grandmother passed away as well. And so she was one of those that fought for our right to vote. And I was like, this is my family history. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and let my great grandmother's life be in vain. Like, I stand on her shoulders along with a bunch of other shoulders. So yeah, I'm gonna vote. And then, you know, now to be in a time where they're trying to take our vote away, and you have all of these community leaders, whether it be pastors or, you know, whomever, coming together saying this is not right, this is not cool, we're not standing for it, and they're marching and they're allowing our voices to be heard. So kudos to them for that. Like, I'm really truly loving and enjoying not just what I'm seeing in Texas, but what I'm seeing around the
Around the
nation.
nation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my take on it, and I mentioned something about how as young black people they like to say that, oh, my vote doesn't count. Well, if you look around and you see the laws that's trying to be passed, your vote does count. That's why they're trying to suppress your vote. If it didn't count, then they wouldn't be trying so hard.
Yeah.
You know, to me it feels like, and no shade or whatever to the Republicans or whatever like that, but if the Republicans could win fairly, then why are they trying every means to cheat?
Yeah.
I saw some tweets about it, saying that, you know, voter ID, that's, you know, having your ID to vote, that's not suppression. For some it is. What about the elderly? Me and you, we can go out and get our ID or identification or just order it online. But what if you have an older person who can't get out, who doesn't have grandchildren or children or nieces and nephews that's tech savvy to do that for them? Then they can't vote if they don't have the ID.
Yeah, I mean, even somebody that's disabled.
Right. They can't get out and get the means to do this. And I, like you said, I love to see the pastors. The pastors are coming out, because how can you be a man or a woman of God or officials serving the community and serving the people as a whole, and you don't see this as a problem? When they had the rally in Austin, Willie Nelson, who was a very famous country singer, came out to support.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. My mom loved country, so I grew up listening to Willie Nelson. And yeah, so I thought that was really cool. And so just a little fun fact that our viewers may not know is that what they're trying to get rid of is the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And so basically that act gave African Americans the exercise their right to vote that was granted up under the 15th Amendment. Okay, so I don't understand how you have these government officials thinking that it's legal or even ethical. And I don't even know if I should throw the word ethical in, because we are talking about politicians. But how can you just think that that's okay. That that's okay. You would think that you would want all the people that you can to get out and vote. And if you want people to vote for your party, then you need to get out in the community and explain to us why we should vote for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have senior Hot Wheels in office, Governor Greg Wayne Abbott rolling, and he's trying to suppress. Shut up, Abby.
Look, you with the name. Somebody your Hot Wheels, girl.
He is, girl.
You trying to take me out, and we ain't even got started.
Like, he just gets on my nerves. Like, you up there in Austin trying to pass all these suppression voter laws. Can we talk about why Texas is not on the national grid? Why some people during February, which was the worst storm freeze the South has ever seen.
Yes.
Some people lost their power for days. Why you want to tell us at the beginning of the summer that we should put our air conditioners on 75? Who finna do that? I'm not. My air conditioner been on 65 since after the freeze. Okay? It's been on 65.
In all honesty, I actually do keep mine at like 75. That's because I literally am in my room most of the time, so my fan is going. So, I'm always staying cool. And then when I'm in my living room or my kitchen, like, I'll bring my stand-up fan to kind of, keep the air flowing. And also, that's my bill that I'm paying.
That's my bill. Let me tell you something. I got the air on and I got my ceiling fan on. My hot flashes are horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, they are horrible. It gets so bad where I woke up one night and it felt like the air was just blowing out hot air. Yes. And I had to go stand in front of the freezer to cool off. And after that, then I felt the cold air from my air conditioner. Because I was thinking do I need to call maintenance? Because I know this air is not out. I just got the air conditioner replaced last summer.
God damn.
Okay. So, no.
Yeah. And then, kind of going back to senior on wheels.
Girl, like, it's amazing. Like, you up there want to do this, and then check this out. Trying to erase, this is another tweet, that's another law that they're trying to pass in Texas. Trying to erase the MLK Jr., Cesar Chavez, and Susan B. Anthony from the Texas curriculum and recast the KKK as good guys. So you're trying to rewrite history as well. It's already whitewashed anyway, but you're trying to do it over. We barely learned Black history in school anyway, as much as I remember.
Yeah. And the only time we talked about Black history was during February.
Then another thing that our Texas government is so good at, the Deputy Attorney General, Aaron Ritz, said 3 days ago, and I'll say this for our next topic because it ties in. But I don't know what they're doing, and I can't wait till the elections in 2022 because who's gonna be first at the polls is me. It just doesn't make any sense. It was a pastor on Instagram was spewing all types of conspiracy theories about saying that if somebody comes it's no variant or anything like that, and if somebody comes to his church with a mask on, he's going to tell them to come out, leave. Last time I heard, that was God's house.
But a lot of these pastors end up thinking it's their house.
It's not. Like, I don't know if this is the world that we live in, or...
The Lord give it, the Lord can take it away like that. Like,
real quick.
Don't play with... But look, I'm going to play with God.
And the sad part is people was clapping with him. Like, he wasn't speaking anything out the Bible or anything. Nothing biblical that he said,
and that's the thing, for me. Like, and I'll be transparent in saying that I don't go to church anymore. And it is simply because of thinking like that. Like, you know, if I want to come in and praise and worship God, I should be able to do that however I want. And if I'm coming and it's a bunch of people, I'm gonna wear a mask. Even if it's not a bunch of people, I'm gonna wear a mask because that's where I'm comfortable. And if you want to be that pastor that doesn't believe in COVID and this Delta variant or whatever variant we on now, look, do you? Hey, that's your belief. But at the end of the day, it's literally about like how I, you know, state my belief in God. I'd much rather believe, and when I die, you know, if I die and, you know, and God really isn't real, okay, I haven't, you know, I haven't gained or lost anything. But exactly. If I live and I don't believe in there really truly is a God, I've lost everything. So I'd much rather believe in God than to not believe at all. And so I'd much rather believe in COVID and this new variant than to not believe at all. And then here I get sick with it and hell, I die. And I ain't ready.
Exactly.
Like, you know, and the thing is, you know, I've known people in my life that have actually gotten COVID, and and like literally all of them kind of have the same story about their symptoms. I literally, transparent moment again, have a cousin who passed away the day after Christmas last year. And didn't even know she had COVID, but she died in her sleep and did not know she had COVID. So for me, I'm like, no matter where I go, I'm going to have a mask on.
Me too.
Period, point blank. Like, I don't play them games. Like, whether it's my little cloth mask or my KN95 mask, I'm going to have one on, period. Like, I don't care.
Funny story about that. I walked up to the gas station because I wanted some wine. Probably got me some cheap wine or whatever. So I walked up there to the gas station and I had my mask on. Like, I'm with you. I'm still believing God. I'm going to be vaccinated and I'm going to wear my mask and be social distancing in Jesus' name. Hallelujah. Okay. So I'm there. And so, you know, Senior Hot Wheels said a couple of months ago that we didn't have to wear masks. Okay. That's you. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. So I'm in line waiting with my wine up on my arm like this, waiting. So this lady came in. You can guess what color she is. She came in and she said, you don't have to wear masks. I said, yeah, I know. Okay. And she said she kept on. So I saw this lady walk out the store, wasn't really paying no attention till she addressed me. And she said, well, you know, and I said, look, ma'am, and I'm being polite. Ma'am, I heard what he said. I don't care what he said. I'm still going to wear a mask. So please just leave it alone. So she kept on picking and not minding her business. And I said, look, lady, I didn't say anything to you when I saw you on the other aisle with your elbow halfway up your ass digging your drawers out. And then you smelled your fingers. Okay? And I said it loud. And everybody stopped and looked. And I said, see, this is what happens when you don't mind your business. Your business becomes everybody else's business. Leave me alone. Let me wear my mask.
And see, I know you did that for real. And and as you're talking about it, I'm picturing it in my mind vividly. And I'm just like,
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say ew. And then when I saw you, I'm like, well, hey, if that's what you want to do, then do you. Boo.
And then touching everything.
And touching everything. You didn't elbow deep. And then you don't have a nerve to sniff your fingers. So yeah, I said, she sniffed her fingers. Yes, she did. She did. And she was like, well, I never. I said, I'm sure you did never, but keep on messing with me. It's going to happen. Mind your business that pays your business. Girl. She wouldn't leave me alone. She kept on nitpicking.
And y'all, I know Pearl well enough to know that she really said all of this. And that's what's making it even funnier because I know she did.
And did.
Girl, I would have laughed so good just like I'm laughing hard. I would have laughed then. Oh my God.
Indeed. Maybe next time.
She smelled it.
Girl. I didn't say nothing about that.
You for wearing a mask.
I'm wearing a mask.
I can't.
I tried to be polite about it. Like, hey, let me do me and you do you. What I'm wearing a mask is not affecting you either way. It's not affecting you.
But however, you scratching your ass, sniffing it, and then having the nerve to touch stuff in public, and you still touching stuff. No, that's affecting me, because then that means I might touch that, and then I might get your Cody's look.
It's like, leave me alone. Okay. And that's what I told her. See, this is what happens when you don't mind your business. Your business becomes everybody else's business.
And it really is everybody else's business, because all our listeners and viewers know.
I don't care. And if I had a name, I probably would have said it too. You over here crying? Over here crying?
It is crazy, because I've been waiting on one of my friends or my family members to come across a Karen and for me to hear about it. And lo and behold, it's you that came across that Karen.
Girl, I'll put a Karen in check anytime, any day of the week. They can get it. Because it's one thing about them Karens, like I don't understand, I don't understand why my business is your business. What am I doing that is affecting you? It doesn't. Really?
Like, how is me wearing a mask affecting you? Like,
is it offending you? Like, what's the problem here?
Oh my God, because you're digging in your ass. It's such stuff is offending me.
Right. Like, my cousin came down, not ain't saying fire, but one of my cousins I grew up with, she came down to visit me. And so we decided to go to a restaurant, and it was packed. Yeah. And so we finally got seated, and this white man, he was like, oh my God, another one. Oh, baby, we turned around on that one. What do you mean, another one?
Lord, Tom, okay.
Another one? Is DJ Khaled in here? What you mean, another one? Because I said it, and then his wife come out, oh my God, Steve, I think they heard you. Yes, Steve, we heard you. What do you mean about another one? Let's have a conversation. I should be saying it's another one of y'all. It's a whole bunch of y'all in here. Jeez. Because I'm not going to lie. Me and my cousins was being loud and black. You know how we are. You know how we can get. We were. But for you to say another one, yes, it is another one.
Yeah, no,
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Please explain it. When I tell you they paid for they check so quick and left.
I bet they did.
Another one. What?
Oh my God, my eyes itching. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
That was my final thoughts on that topic.
Lord, oh my God. But
I love it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I just had a prayer, cried, now my eyes itching. Oh Lord. Okay. Now I was about to actually talk about Singing on Wheels. Because I don't know if you remember, but back in 2010, Texas was trying to become its own country.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And so,
I mean, we can succeed from the other states. We're the only state that can do that.
Yeah. And so, in remembering that, it wasn't a surprise to me to hear that Texas is on its own electrical grid and not on the national grid. So and I just wanted to say that just to make that point, like, it didn't surprise me, because Texas is Texas, and
Texas is Texas. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, that's literally, you have nothing else to say, but Texas is Texas. Like, it is.
Either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I'm a proud Texan. I'm a proud Texan. I love the state of Texas, and I don't think it's another state like us. But it's just some things is just nerve-wracking, and you're dealing with ignorance all around you, from the governor to the senator to everybody. Yeah. So that's why it's important, going back to the original topic, that's why it's so important to vote. Yes. If we want change, we're gonna have to vote these people out in order to see change. Yep. You know? So,
because he's been sitting in that seat for so long. I'm like,
he's been sitting half his life.
Look,
he's already sitting. Okay, he's already sitting. He's already sitting. Sitting. I don't like him.
Clearly.
Oh my God. I don't like him.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't like him either.
And no shade to anyone that's handicapped and in a wheelchair. But
not at all.
Greg Abbott, he can get it any day of the week. I will lay hands on him, handicap or not. You better have some very good upper body strength.
Girl, he don't.
So, what they got to mean? Then what they got to do with anything? Old people talk just as much trash as young people. Old people think just because they old that they won't get that these that things won't happen.
Like they can't catch hands, but you can.
Yeah, you can.
You can catch hands.
You get this attitude real quick, and if you keep on pushing them buttons, the hands will be thrown. I don't care about him being old and handicapped, because you don't care about the people that you're supposed to be representing.
Nope.
So why should I care? You don't care, I don't care. That's my attitude. So
hey, can't argue with that. But anyway, let's
we're gonna move on,
because we could spend the whole podcast just talking about this one thing, and we got a couple of other things. Lord have mercy. Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. So, was there anything else? Because you did say that there was something that you wanted to bring up, or did you already bring it up?
It's something that I do want to bring up, but it's related to our next topic on the docket.
Okay, so my favorite time of the year, my favorite 2 weeks every 4 years, the Olympics.
Yes.
I have been watching the Olympics since 1996. Oh my gosh, like me in the Olympics.
Flojo.
Like,
when Flojo was still running.
Girl, yes. But for me, my all-time favorite Olympian will forever be the gymnast known as Carrie. I forget her last name, but her name was Carrie. She's a white woman with like this beautiful blonde, I know who you're talking about. Hair.
I can't think of her name either.
I can't think of her last name, and me and my mom were talking about her earlier, but oh my goodness. Like,
is that the one who still competed with who broke her leg?
Yes, she did the vault. She did.
Yeah.
She did the vault. She was, it was the last.
She broke her leg.
It was the last rotation, and they were doing the vault. And she was the very last one to go. And so she was fine. And when she did her first vault, she hurt her ankle. And, we were like, oh my God. But, she stuck it through and did her second vault. She wiggled it a little bit and tried to and then the most amazing thing was that when she did her vault the second time, she landed on one leg. And honey, oh my God. Just the strength in that, and just, how she took, just how she just took the moment and just ran with it. But anyway, so this year the Olympics is in Tokyo, and they are of course calling it Tokyo 2020 because it was supposed to happen last year. Yes. But it didn't, and that's okay, because of COVID. But they're taking all types of precautions. But literally, I've been watching. Starting the opening ceremony was beautiful, and it
was, wasn't it?
Yes.
Did you see the outfits that the different countries was wearing?
I love it.
The outfits from the African nation. The African nations, they were representing.
Yes. And for me, like, that's like one of my favorite things to see is like, you know, the entrance of every country coming in. Mm-hmm. But, you know, in this year, our introduction was done by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he did that thing.
Yes,
but
he did.
I always love to see the creativity of every single host country, and the creativity of Tokyo of Japan was amazing. It was awesome. And I want to highlight my two most favorite parts was one where they did the pictogram of all 50 sporting events.
That was cool.
That was so cool. And if anybody didn't see it, you can go on YouTube and search for it, find it. It's like 5 minutes and some change of seconds. Like, it was amazing. And then my second part that I really truly just was my favorite was to see Naomi Osaka carry the torch, and light the cauldron. Like, I just oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful moment to me. But I mean, oh my gosh, like, it was truly, truly, truly amazing, and I really, truly enjoyed those. I mean, I enjoyed the full thing. Like, I always enjoyed the ceremony, like, every single year. Like, I always enjoyed the ceremony, but those two moments really, truly stood out for me.
Yes. The Olympics has always been my favorite as well. I would say my favorite Olympic heroes is Dominique Dawes.
Oh, of course, yes.
And an old school, she's still alive now, but Evelyn Ashford. Okay. She was a beast out on the track and field, especially during the 1984 Olympics. And this was before we were born, but I saw a clip during the relays. She walked East Germany down. And I have never seen anyone walk anyone down, not even Usain Bolt. It was like, we didn't think we was going to win, but she walked them down. And then after the fact, she wiped her brow. Because, girl, I know it was a workout. It was a workout.
Oh my god!
Flojo almost bubbled the baton, but she got it and it just was gone. So those are my two favorite Olympic athletes. For me, I will say personally, I did enjoy the ceremony, but the Olympics to me has not really felt like it usually is because there's been so much controversy around it, surrounding it. One of the main things that happened a couple of days when Simone Biles goat.
Yeah, I was literally going to talk about that because you know, I have so many emotions regarding what she did. Which kudos to you, Simone, for taking into account your mental health. No hate here, all love and positivity.
We understand. We understand it.
You know, because
I think it takes a big person to do that.
It does. I mean, and literally in the middle of a competition, like, I mean, I was like,
it takes a big person to realize that, hey, I'm not all mentally there. And I'm not competing. Even when, like, during like the warm ups, I was watching that. I could tell she was off.
Yeah,
you can tell it. But it takes a big person to say, I'm just not there. And if I continue on, y'all, I'm gonna bring you down. And I don't want to bring y'all down. You know what I'm saying? Because her scores really, it was gonna bring them down. And that's another thing too, because they weren't scoring her right because they told her that, you know, because the other gymnasts can't compete at her level, then they weren't going to score her, give her just scores. And I'm like, well, that's not fair.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They need to step their game up. Just because, you know?
Yeah.
But I congratulate Simone Biles on that.
Oh, of course.
It takes a big person. It takes a big woman to do that. It does. But that brings me to one thing, though, before I can let you continue. Our Texas Deputy Attorney General Aaron Ritz did a post on his Twitter, which has been deleted, of course.
Of course.
And he denounced the U.S. gymnast Simone Biles as selfish, childish, and a national embarrassment. So when that came out, of course, you know, people fired his ass up.
Of course.
About it. And so, you know, it's now been taken down, like I said, and he's issued an apology and all of that.
You don't get to do that. I know you don't get to do that. You stand on the tweet that you posted.
If you said it, you said it. If you said it, you said it. Stand 10 feet deep in it, okay?
Thank you. But, like, don't be sitting up here trying to be like, oh, no.
Because you catching heat. I don't like when people judge athletes like that, because we don't know. We're not gymnasts. We don't know the mental, the physical, emotional input that's into this. They showed a clip during the competition of this one girl. She's a Brazilian gymnast, and her knee was just scarred. She's only 18, but she's already had 3 ACL surgeries.
Wow.
But you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me what goes in there, because she could be competing in pain. She probably not supposed to be out there. She probably wants to be out there in the first place. But she's, you know, she's out there. And so for people to comment about how Simone Biles should have just kept on competing, and, you know, that's not right.
And what people don't understand is, if she would have continued to compete, she could have severely hurt herself.
Exactly.
Because if you're not mentally there in a sport to protect not just yourself but your team, it is very important for you to go ahead and back out. And for me, I totally respect what Simone did.
I do too.
Because she took her mental health into account and saw, and knew that if she continued, it would bring her team down, and she would not be the leader that she is. And so for me, this showed great leadership. And number one, because as a leader, you have to think about the whole. And she thought about the whole as well as herself, which we're not taught that. We're always taught to think about other people and not think about ourselves as well. And she did the thing that a lot of people either don't know how to do or they're afraid to do, which was, not only did she think about herself and what was going on with her, she thought about her team and what she knew would be the best for them, because they've been working together for a little bit, and so she knows the strength of her team, and she knows the strengths that they would be able, and she knew that moving forward they would be able to carry them. And guess what they did?
They won silver.
No, we didn't win a gold, but hell, we won silver.
We got on the podium.
Thank you. We got on that podium and we won something. And, you know, and a lot of people, you know, be like, well, you know, if Simone had been in, then we would have won gold. Yes,
you can't say that. But then again, you can't say that either.
I mean, no, you can't. You know, if Simone was healthy,
mentally, in a right mental space, gold all the way. Gold all the way.
But because she wasn't mentally there, if she had continued to compete, we wouldn't have made it. No, we wouldn't have made it. Nope. And
we wouldn't have gotten podium.
And everybody would have been like, "Boo, Simone, you're not the GOAT anymore," and it would have been a whole thing.
It's like for her, you damned if you do and damned if you don't type of scenario.
And I think, you know, but for me, regarding this whole situation, what I really truly love is how after they won, how Hoda Kotb, who is host of NBC Today, for the 3rd hour, and I think like the first hour too, something like that. But anyway, she's typically on for the 3rd hour of the morning show today. And when she interviewed the team, she spoke to Simone Biles and how she was like, you know, we are in full support of you. Like, you know, there's no love lost. Like, we love you even more for what you did. And I totally respect that. And even for me, like, I am a huge fan of Simone Biles. Like, she goes up there as one of my favorite all-time Olympians, because the woman is bad. The woman is bad.
And she's still in her early 20s. Yeah. So it's still a lot of Olympics left in her, world championships in her, you know?
Yeah. So for me, I just, I totally respect what she did. of her, you know, and of course me being the mental health counselor, I was like, yes, sweetie.
Yes.
Like, it brought tears to my eyes because I was like, oh my goodness, like, here it is, this young woman showing the world how important your mental health is. Because the thing is, to be an Olympian and to participate in the Olympics, your mentality has to be there. And if it is not there, you will fall, crash, and burn.
Yeah.
And you can easily hurt yourself severely, or you can kill yourself. And she did what was best for her to protect not just her, but her teammates. And literally, like, and then for me, like, seeing what happened after that and how Jordan Childs, you know, leveled up. Even Suni Lee, like, they came together and they literally just, you know, they ushered themselves in, and like, I mean, everything that they did after that was perfect, spot on, barely any mistakes. I mean, but I think that was the push that the team really needed, was to take Simone out of the equation so that they could step forward and show their leadership skills and really truly show that they can rise to the occasion, and they did, and they walked away with a silver medal. You know, and now
US,
moving forward,
and the U.S. with all around.
Yeah,
go
and
ahead, Sony Lee.
Yes, and so now, you know, going into the individual competition, you know, I look forward to seeing her do her, you know, to Simone performing her floor routine and being on the beam, because I mean, especially I already know, like, the floor exercise is like one of her favorites, and doing the beam is one of her favorites. Her least favorite, from what I've heard
is the bars.
Is the uneven bars. Yeah. So,
but do you want to know something crazy? I watched her do her warm up for the floor, and she did like one of her famous moves, and she was out of bounds. The move was flawless. Do you know that her only flaw is that she has too much power?
Yes. I mean, that is literally it.
She got too much twerk.
I watched that
only flaw, and that she just puts too much power into it.
Yeah, and I watched that performance, and I was like, you know, when she went out of bounds, I'm looking like the first. So when they were doing the qualifying rounds and she did her floor routine, I was like, damn, that girl got a lot of power. I mean, just
and
so
height.
much,
and
girl, so much power.
Thing.
Girl, 4'9", and I'm like, dang, girl, okay, you know. But I mean, but for me, you know, she has so much power. But you know, I will say one critique is that I really like. She just has to learn how to control it and compact it just a little bit. You know, because and the thing is, for the floor routine, when I think it was during the qualifying rounds and she went all the way out of bounds, I was like, ooh, that was way too much power. Like,
way too much.
Just kind of learning like how much to give and how much, you know, and how much to kind of hold back. So that way, like, you don't overdo it, because when you overdo it, that's when the mistakes come. But,
that's
you know.
True.
But, you know, it is what it is now. I wanted to pull up, you know, where we are as far as medals at this point in time. And, of course, we're leading with 59 medals total. And China is right behind us with 51. And so, at current, we
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll say it.
So, currently, we are at 20 gold medals, 23 silver, and 16 bronze. And you know, every year we just seem to always be number one.
We can't help it. We can't help it. That's the type of quality that we produce. Yeah. You know, my favorite events are coming up in these last final days, which is track and field. You know, but before I talk into that, but just one more thing on Simone. You mentioned a leader. A leader is a movement, not a monument. And for me for her to display that type of leadership, because not just did she just not, you know, decide to take herself out, she didn't go back to the Olympic Village and leave her teammates there. She stayed.
She stayed there, and she coached. She rooted them.
And she encouraged.
Oh my
she did all that.
Yes,
that's the leader. Those are the qualities that you want to see. You know, and I'm sure the other four girls appreciated that.
Yeah.
But going to track and field, I was so forward looking to our Dallas native Shakira Richardson in this Olympic Games. Yeah. Girl, oh my God. I saw it already in my mind. In this 100-meter dash, it's going to be Shakira Richardson, Shirley Ann Fraser-Price from Jamaica, Elaine Thompson from Jamaica, and Blessing Owabonga, and I might be pronouncing her last name wrong, from Nigeria. I was ready for it. The funny thing is this poor baby, she lost her mother. And she found out by a news reporter, and she coped the best way she knew how. She smoked a little weed. Yeah, she smoked a little weed, little marijuana. Yeah. And apparently that's against the rules. And what I liked about her is that she admitted on, was it to Today Show that she did an interview? Yeah, I did it. I knew it was wrong. I don't have no excuses, but, all I can do is just come back and be the best that I can be. She didn't make no excuses. Yep. This is what it is. But I found it funny is that some news report I was reading that they have people in Tokyo now talking about how marijuana helps them, how they see it enhances their, it helps them cope, to relax. But you have them over there, but you don't have her. But you know what? That's okay, because she said she's going to be back for Worlds. And I think the World Championships for a lot of the sports is like 6 months or 7 months after the Olympics anyway. So I don't know. Just for a little bit of weed. It's not like that other lady who qualified for the steeple race. She was talking, she got tested for steroids, and her excuse was that she ate a burrito. Somebody gave up a burrito. What? Lady, if you did steroids, just say
it. Somebody gave her a burrito of steroids. Okay.
She ate a burrito.
She ate a burrito of steroids.
She ate a burrito.
Okay. So okay.
That's what she said.
Okay.
She said that's what she said. She had a burrito. Somebody gave her a burrito, and she did this video. She was crying about it, and then I'm like, lady, look, if you just did the steroids, you did the steroids, and you got caught. That's all it is to it.
Yeah.
That's all it is to it.
I mean, they admit it. But okay, so
go ahead, baby.
Let's move on from that, because oh God, I can't. But with the Olympics, they brought on some new sports, and then they also brought a couple back. So first is surfing. That is now an Olympic
I like that.
sport. I was like yes. Karate, karate. But it's a specific one.
Taekwondo?
I believe so. I think that's it. And then
we want to go medal in that. The women did.
Yes.
I saw that match.
And then skateboarding, we gotta go medal in that too.
I thought that was so cool.
So dope. I was like, yes. And then sport climbing. So of course, like mountain climbing, but sport climbing, and the way that they do it is like you have it's like a crazy maze, and you gotta do it in a certain, you gotta, whoever got the fastest time, I think that's what it is.
Oh, wow.
And then, so those were the 4 new. Then they brought back baseball and softball.
Oh, softball was so good. I was watching the U.S. versus Canada.
Now, something I will say that I never really, no. What is it? It's the 3x3. That's the new one that they brought on. That's another new one that they brought on, was the 3x3. So it's like 3-on-3.
Oh, yeah. The 3-on-3 basketball. Yeah.
That's been amazing. But I was about to say, I will say that I actually have watched a couple of sports that I never watched, which is water polo.
Girl, you haven't watched water polo?
Girl, no.
Girl, that'd be good.
Girl, I never watched that.
Especially the women matches.
Girl, no, so literally I was watching it. Girl, it was so intense. I was like,
it is, girl.
And then another one, and like I had my mama laughing at this one, but it was like the horse competition, not the one where they're running, but like the one where they're performing. And girl, girl, the way this horse was prancing, and then to the side, and then did a little pause. I was like, wait a minute. I could not, but I was like,
yes.
I had never in my life, I never knew that was a thing, but it was. And it was like, I mean, they had a whole routine where the horse would like prance, you know, and then prance to the side, and then to the other side.
I can imagine what type of practice and hours have to go in. Man. Not only for you as a rider to be trained, but the horse to be trained. Because you know these horses are probably bred specifically for this. Yeah.
And so I was just like that. I was like, oh, I mean, of course I knew water polo was a thing, but that was never like, it was always gymnastics, swimming, diving, track, and basketball. That was like, and the creative dance. Like I watched
like
that a few times.
I do like that.
But yeah, so for me, like those were always like the main ones that I watched. You know, which
you know what you need to watch though. You know what you need to watch. Rugby. Rugby is good.
Oh, girl, that's so intense.
I love it though. Rugby, and then what's also is really good is the synchronized swimming.
Yes, that's the other one. I love synchronized swimming. It's so beautiful.
Russia is so good. Russia is so good at that. It's amazing. Now with the swimming, as far as like the diving, China always wins. I'm not surprised. Like, go China, go the Republic of China, because
and we have somebody,
so
and we actually have somebody from Arlington who competed in diving. And I mean, I looked at her dives and I was like, oh, honey, your nerves got the best of you. And I could tell. But her name was Haley Hernandez. And I mean, she did some good dives, but I was like, your nerves. Yeah.
And I think that was her first Olympics too, so she had to get it out.
Yeah.
She had to get it out.
Too. Yeah.
She had to get it out.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, okay. But yeah. Now swimming, I mean, Katie Ledecky is just killing them.
Yes, she is. And you know who I think our biggest competition in swimming really is? The Australians.
It is. Yes.
But it was some upsets though. It was some upsets.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of upsets. So a lot of people are coming back. And I like that. I like to see a country who you never really heard of winning a medal, but they've been training and they come back. And like, it's because it's a shocker for everybody. But I'll be proud of them. I'm like, yes, you did that.
Too.
You did that.
Because even for me, like if the U.S. isn't a part of a semifinal or final, I find myself rooting for, like, choosing like one or two other countries to root for. You know, for me, Australia with swimming, they have definitely busted out the seams, and oh my goodness, it's freaking amazing. You know, for that one girl who was going against Katie Ledecky, and the commentators was like, yeah, you know, her coach, like, they've been pretty much eyeing Katie Ledecky and was like, this is who we need to be. Not thinking about nobody else, but we need to be Katie. And Katie was like, okay, you need to be me. Let's go. Now, the first final, you know, the Australian, what's her last name? It starts with a T. It's like Tetmus or something like that.
I know you're talking about.
But yes. And so the first race, she got her. But after that, she been coming in second to Katie because Katie wasn't playing that. And then, now going over to the men.
He cute, ain't he?
Dress.
Girl with that tattoo. Ooh, him fine. Him fine. Him fine. Yes. He reminds me so much of Michael Phelps. Just hungry. Just hungry for it.
Yes. And I love it.
Absolutely love it.
But somebody that's kind of upset me a little bit, which he was in the 2016 Olympics, and he did good then. It's Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
He's kind of upset me. I'm like, really? But then, of course, going back to the women and Simone Manuel.
Manuel.
Oh,
Yes.
that girl is an awesome swimmer now. And the 100-meter freestyle, she didn't do good. And I was like, ooh.
She didn't do too good.
She did. And I was like, damn.
You know, she barely made the Olympic trials. And I was glad that she did. She was like, for her, it was a lot of mental issues too, because she had been on lockdown and with training, and she hadn't trained in a while. But you know, I think she's still in the relay. I don't know if the relay is over with.
I think the relay. Yes, no, the relay is done because it was a mixed relay.
Yeah, the mixed relay.
And she was in it, so I can't remember what the results were.
I can't either. I don't know if we came in 4th or 5th. I don't think we medaled. I don't think we medaled on that. Hold on.
Really? We need to go see what happened. Oh my god.
I could be wrong.
Cause I know Dressel was bringing it, you know, and was closing it out. Like he was the anchor.
Yeah.
No, as a matter of fact, no, we didn't.
We came in 5th. Great Britain got gold. China got 2nd. Australia got 3rd. We got 5th.
So no, I do remember seeing that, and oh my god, it was like we started out good, but it was like everybody was like, oh shit, we tired, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my goodness. But also let's talk about volleyball, because the women have been doing amazing.
They always do so good. They always do good. They always. Let me tell you something also about volleyball. Favorite sport to watch. Not only do I watch it during the Olympics, but I also watch it during their circuit season.
Nice.
Where it's so good. Basketball, I'm not gonna lie, for the men's basketball team, I don't know what they were doing in Expedition. I didn't think we were gonna make it. I was like, if y'all playing like this, we're not gonna win another goal.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. When their very first game against France, what I saw were stars trying to play nice and trying to do the right thing instead of stepping in as the stars they are and being stars. Which I'm like, great, yes, pass, but you can't pass all the damn time. Sometimes you're going to have to come out and be who you are on your team and shoot the ball and know you can make it. But then, when they came back and played Saturday, I believe it was Saturday that it was Saturday that they played. They played a hell of a game and they won. And Kevin Durant came through and did his thing.
Always. You can always count on KD.
And I think the other thing was, like literally a lot of them were coming off of just playing a few weeks ago or a week ago and not having much rest, to then having to fly to Tokyo to play a game. Like, they're tired, so they needed rest, but they also needed time to practice and gel because they hadn't had that time. So, it's one thing because normally when basketball season is going, it ends in June, which then gives them majority of July to like, they have about a week of rest, and then they go right into practicing for about 2 to 3 weeks, which gives them time to gel. And then once they come over to the Olympics, they're playing and they're good.
Yeah.
Literally, like literally a week or two before the finals happened. Which, congratulations to Milwaukee. Go.
The Bucks.
Yes. Congratulations to y'all. Yay.
Yes.
But, for them to go from that to then having to fly like a week later and play, like, they were tired and they were trying to play nice. And it's like, no, This
you
is
need
not
to
the
play
time
the
for you to
style.
play
You need
nice.
to play the style that you're used to.
Yes.
No mercy. Okay, we're in this to win it. Like, there's no reason why you should have lost. There's no reason why you should have lost to Nigeria. Did they lose to Nigeria?
No, they lost to France. That first game, they lost to France.
All the more reason. Like, no shade to France, but it's no reason that our men's basketball team should lose to France. Okay? Have France win a world war and then come back with us.
I didn't take my water. Pearl, you literally, like, just...
I'm sorry.
I had the words.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, but like I said, I do agree, that, there's no reason there's just no reason that they should have lost here because, they were in the lead and then they got tired. Like,
all of the dominant basketball are in America. There's just no way. Like, yeah. But I'm glad they got it together though. The women, they've always been holding it down. I don't know what it is about our women athletes. They always holding it down. They just always.
Even like the 3-on-3 girl. When I tell you the women, like they won the first.
They're not playing.
They ain't playing with no look. And then one of the women that's on the 3-on-3, she's a part of the Dallas Wings. I said yes. And see, people sleep on the WNBA, but honey, the WNBA, hell, they play harder than the men to me.
They do,
and I love it.
But they're underpaid.
Yeah,
severely underpaid.
And the thing is, like, people really sleep on the WNBA. They don't get as much airtime. They don't get as much
exposure.
They don't get as much what's the word? Not because we just said exposure, but I don't know, but they just don't get as much as the NBA, and I think that's horrible. And I think the NBA needs to do more for them. Like they, needs to speak out more about them. It's one thing to do a commercial, but it's another thing to actually protest and be like, hey, y'all need to pay them, because they really be playing. And
they had some of the greats in the NWW. You had Lisa Leslie, you had Cheryl Swoops, Tina Campbell. Like, you can't. They carried their back. They carried the WNBA on their back.
Then one of our own. Andrea Riley was LA Sparks,
Yep.
Lincoln Tiger all the way. She made it, and and it's like it just
it's a little disheartened inside, but it is. But you know what? They honestly, how they're performing, how they always perform in the Olympics, they don't have to prove anything to anything. We see your greatness.
We see you.
We see you.
And we watch them.
You got anything else about the Olympics before we move on? We're at the hour mark now.
I don't have nothing else. I think I said what I needed to say.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So this next topic is something that I picked out.
Yes. Let's make this clear. This is something that Pearl picked out. She sent it to me.
Yes, I did. Now, we cannot show this video at all. No. We can't do that. But this video came up on my Twitter feed.
Go
surprisingly. Yeah, just search for Brunch Lady in Twitter.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So basically, it's a video of this woman in Florida who is aggressively masturbating in public during brunch, and she climaxed too all over the floor.
Let's just go ahead and put it out there. She squirted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the woman that's recording it just screaming like somebody being murdered.
I don't know what was wrong with that woman just screaming like you had lost your mind. Like, what is wrong with you?
I mean, you not helping like somebody being murdered, but I mean,
you're not helping the situation.
No, you're not. You're not rendering aid.
And it took so long for people to get this woman out.
And then there was a dude sitting on a bench,
like having a free show, free show. Look, listen. I hope that this woman was under the influence of some type of narcotics or
she just had a whole lot of mimosas
or something, like, because no sane person is just gonna, like, girl had her leg hiked up.
Girl, it was hiked up there.
And it was like down. Like, no sane person is gonna do that in public.
And the look on her face. Oh my God.
It was pure pleasure.
It was so disturbing to me.
Girl, when I saw the video, my mouth just dropped. Like, I know she's not doing what I think she... And it's just like... And let me tell you something. I would be pissed. Because there is no way in hell that I would pay for a meal and coochie air that have been all over my food. There's no way. I'm not paying for this. I didn't want a meal in the show. Okay? I just can't do that. Like,
you coming with him tonight, Pearl. You coming with him tonight. I'm not paying for this. I'm not.
No.
I just know when you sent it to me, I was like, okay. You know, but she sent it to me now. Because, I mean, Pearl sends stuff to me all the time. That's on Twitter, on TikTok, whatever. And I'm thinking, you know, it's going to be something funny. Nah. She sends this to me, and I, you know, because I'm like, okay, you know, so I click into it. And instantly, I was like, oh! No! And so, of course, you know, I made the docket tonight, and when I put the docket together, I didn't know what to call it, so I was like, you know what? The disgusting Twitter.
And I had to message you. I'm like, what the hell is that?
She's like, what is that? And I said, oh, that tweet that you sent to me of that woman aggressively.
Yeah.
I was like, it could have been anything, but no. She sent that to me, and I was like,
let me tell you something. This is why I'm antisocial. This shit like that.
Yep. You know,
this is why I'm antisocial, because
I was like, wow, like, I mean, and she's like, I don't know who she was making eye contact with, but it was like she was focused. I mean, she was like,
we in the zone.
Oh my God, it was so disturbing. I was like, oh my God. She was like focused, and then like, I mean, baby, them fingers was working. I was like, oh my God. Girl, and then it just was like a puddle of pee.
Like, look, now, and you know what the other thing is too? I don't know if she was charged or not, but like, in all honesty and seriously, really, if a man was caught doing that, he would be labeled a sex offender.
Yeah.
And honestly, she should be too.
She should, because I mean, number one,
or
indecent exposure.
Exactly.
And literally, like, there are children and families at this place, and I mean, whoever she was with didn't try and stop her, like nothing. So that's why, like, I kind of think, you know, either she, you know, definitely had way too many drinks, And then on top of that, I do wonder if it was a dare. I really truly do wonder if it was a dare.
It has to be something like a dare, too much alcohol, drugs, maybe even a mental illness. I don't know. But I just know that no sane person really just going to do that.
Mm-mm.
No sane person is going to do that. At least I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, but you never know.
Hope. Yeah, you're right. But that just...
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I don't even want to talk about it no more because that was just nasty.
And like nobody stopped her beforehand. Like everybody
nobody was like I mean, somebody could have tackled her ass.
And somebody, but the strange is like y'all let her finish. Literally.
And then her ass would have kept going.
Literally, y'all let her finish. Like it was no.
And her ass would have kept going had security not been there. And then she touched her. She touched her.
Listen.
She touched the security guard, and I think she touched somebody else, and I was just like, oh my God. I mean, and then I'm like all of y'all just standing around and watching this lady, like, what the heck? Like, this is why, like, our society these days gets on my nerves, because y'all are bystanders. Like nobody wants to hop into action and do anything. Y'all just bystanders, and I'm like, you know what? Why
not? I was like, look, listen. Honestly, if I was there, I was like, hell no, come on, no, no, we're not gonna do. Even if that means we finna fight to get you out there, like no,
bitch, we gonna fight
because you don't need to be doing this in public. This is not what you do. You know,
this is nasty,
very nasty.
But anyway,
yes. Moving on to our last topic for the night, and it's a segment that we like to do called Professionally Woke.
Professionally Woke.
And I am in charge of doing it tonight. So my subtopic for our Professionally Woke is the skin I'm in. So I'm going to be very transparent and vulnerable about my experience with myself becoming into my own.
Okay.
I had like a lot of insecurities, and I would say my insecurities were really in high school into college. And so it stemmed from the fact that I've never been skinny. I've always been a big girl. And so I've always been a tomboy. And so I always thought that I guess I would never find a man or a guy who could accept me for me as I am. You know what I'm saying? My mind thought was that, oh, guys are not paying attention to me because I'm not the right size, or they just consider me as just one of the homegirls that they can kick you with, talk sports to, or whatever. It didn't occur to me, and I would say maybe to like my late 20s going into my 30s, that I had to be happy and content in who God made me, because he knew me before I was even formed, right? And so if he knew how Brandy was gonna be, then I need to accept Brandy for who she is. And this is who I am. And so now when I look in the mirror after I take a shower or whatever, and I really just look at myself as far as my head all the way down, and I think about how I've changed over the years. I look at my bone structure. I look and see how I've matured. I look and see how I've even aged. And I'd be like, damn, girl, you fine.
Look.
You are the shit. I don't know what the hell Mr. Wright is waiting on, but whenever he come around, he got him, he got himself a catch. Because I'm thicker than the average Snicker.
Look, honey.
Okay? Thicker than the average Snicker.
Baby, we ain't no Snickers over here. We some cakes and pies.
Some Debbie cakes. Some little Debbies. Okay? We'll keep you warm in the winter. But for me, it took a while for me to realize that, because I've always heard growing up, oh, Brandon, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You know, you have a beautiful personality, and you're beautiful. And sometimes, and I'm not gonna lie, it took a while for me to see that beauty. You know what I'm saying? It took a while for me to see, not only did I have the inner beauty that radiated out, but I had that physical beauty as well. And I didn't have to change who I am as an individual, as a woman, in order to get noticed.
Yeah.
All you had to do was just be yourself. Be your unapologetic, authentic, genuine self. And so, you know, I've been blessed. I'm an introvert. I'm like the definition of an introvert, and I don't like people. Not gonna lie about that. But I have a magnetic personality, and it draws people in. So, you know, it's good because I have that vibe, that energy where people can just get comfortable with me and talk to me, and you know, I start talking to them. But, you know, it's important to be able to know who you are as a person and know that, yes, I have flaws. Everything may not be together. I'm getting older. The check engine light is starting to come on more often than not and staying on. It ain't going off no more. But, you know, I have a lot to offer. And you just have to wait on things and see how it manifests and involves. And you have to let your light shine in order to be a beacon and a lighthouse for other people to let their light shine.
Yeah.
So, anything to comment? Anything to comment?
Well, of course. Number one, you didn't even like tell me what the topic was gonna be.
I did not.
You know,
I wanted it to be a surprise.
Yeah, but you know, I'm glad that you brought this up because I think it's important that we as Black women encourage other Black women and little Black girls and boys to appreciate and to love who they are on the inside and outside. You know, and just kind of speaking to loving the skin you're in. For me, you know, a lot of times I've been one to wear a mask. And this is something that I'm currently processing in therapy. That literally for so many years of my life, I've worn a mask. And that's, you know, and my mask just kind of tells people like, I'm okay, like everything's good, like nothing's bothering me. But on the inside, I am dying. Like I am rotting, and it's bad and it's horrible. And I wish I had the words to say what's going on with me, but it's like I never did. So for me, you know, my mask was my way of protecting myself and, you know, not allowing people to see that, you know, I'm human and that I fall and I make mistakes and like I'm hurting and I'm depressed and I'm having anxiety and all these other things. And so definitely in high school, I was insecure about myself so much, but I didn't want that to show to other people because I didn't want to be shown as being weak, as being a punk, you know, all these other things. So I wore a mask and was like, look, I don't care, like whatever, but really I did care. And even going into college, like I started trying to really truly find myself and find who I was when I got in college. In which, you know, honestly graduate, like I grew so much, but you know, even in my 20s, it wasn't until I was 29, which was 2 years ago, that I finally felt comfortable in my body and was like, you know what? And the way that I became comfortable with my body was I took a naked photo of myself. I didn't send it to nobody, But I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it, whatever. I've never done. I was like, let me do it. And I looked at myself, and I, for once, had to look at myself through my own eyes, and see, visually what somebody else would see. And I looked at my body and I was like, damn, girl, you fine. And then I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, like, you got these thick ass thighs, you got this fat ass, you got these hips, girl. And then I looked at my stomach and I was like, you know what, stomach? We together.
We in this together.
We together.
We in it to win it.
We ain't dating, baby. We married. We together. And then I turned around and I looked at the rose. I said, some man gonna love him hell, because guess what? I'm about to learn to love him. And then I just looked at every other part of me and I was like, baby, me and this chin, baby, we gonna look.
We gonna love
I love you. And so literally I got to the point every single day where every part of my body, I was like, I love you.
That affirmation.
Yes. I love you.
That affirmation. Love it.
Baby, everything from my head to my toes, I was telling every part of the out parts of my body, like, I love you. And it made me get to the point to where I was like, you know what, stop focusing on shrinking and trying to get back to your high school size and focus on being healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's healthy? And for every single time I go into a physical, for my doctor to be like, you're healthy, Right. We can work on your blood pressure, but the blood pressure is fucking stress,
right.
But she's like, everything else, like, you're healthy.
Good.
Like,
it's
take
good.
some vitamin D and keep it moving. Because we don't get as much sun as we used to when we were younger. So,
right.
We gotta, put vitamin D into our bodies, which, I do my best to take my vitamin D every day. But I was like, you know what? I love me, and whatever man I have in my life, they're gonna learn to love me if they don't come in loving me already. And the guy that I'm dating now, every moment he gets, he's like, babe, you're gorgeous, babe, you're beautiful. And it makes me feel good because not only do I think I'm beautiful and gorgeous,
but someone else does too.
This man thinks that I'm beautiful and gorgeous. And for me, when it came to dating, it was always a thing of, I need to show this man that I can be that woman for them, that I'm wifey. And I wasn't wifey to them. And I had to learn to be okay with that, because I wasn't for a very long time.
Really?
Because, girl, yes. You went
into dating with the expectations of marrying?
Yeah. Because in my mind, because I always had in my mind, I want to get married, I want to have kids, like, I want to have this family. And not thinking about, I can show him I'm wifey, but can I show him that I love myself? And so, like, now I'm like, I really don't care about being wifey. I just want to show you that I love myself, and I want you to learn how to love me. And that's my focus now. And even, like, being on my jobs, being a lot of times the only or the second or third African American female on the team, it's like, okay. But, I stopped trying to be something I wasn't. And I started just being myself, whatever that looked like. Still being professional, but being myself. So that way you can learn me and get to know me and understand, like,
because we'll code switch in a minute.
Look,
Black people should be winning Academy Awards every day on the job on how we code switch.
look, But, for me, I am just very glad that, me being 30 and in a couple of weeks I would be 31.
Yes, ma'am.
But for me on my job now, I appreciate when my clients and when their family member looks at me and say, "Oh my goodness, like there's just something about you. Like I feel like I can talk to you. I feel like a connection. I feel very comfortable. Like you're very like literally a mom told me you are just so comforting. Like you just, oh my, like I literally feel like I could just sit here and talk to you, and tell you everything. And I feel like you wouldn't judge me and you would help me." And I was like, and literally like last week, I think I got told that more times than what I've ever been told that. And I was like, oh my goodness, like it made me feel good and it let me know that what I'm doing in my life for myself is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's continuing to affirm for me how good of a person I am, how good of a clinician I am, and just how my care and love for others is really truly being shown, which, all connects to me loving the skin that I'm in. Because a part of the skin that I'm in is, all those other parts of me being a counselor. Because being a counselor, I got to be comfortable in that for my clients to be comfortable. And, just all those other aspects, you got to be comfortable with yourself to allow other people to see that and want to be around you. Because like you, I'm an introvert. I don't like people that much. I don't have that many friends. And when I was older, when I was younger, like I used to be like, oh my God, I want to have so many friends. No, I don't.
I don't have the time. That just sounds that sounds emotionally exhausting right then and there.
It is. Oh my God. Like just thinking about it makes me tired.
Yes.
And I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. But the few friends that I do have, I'm happy with those friends. And I'm happy with where my relationship is with all of those friends. No matter if I talk to them every day, every week, every month, once or twice a year, like whatever it is, my friendships are what they are, and I'm happy with them.
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000% on that. And that's why I say that's why I wanted to bring this topic up, because it's important. Not only is for Black women, also Black men or any other person of race and creed who may struggle with, your looks and how the media and how the public influences you and how you think you should be. No, you be who you are. You be you, because there's only one of you in this world. There's not going to be another. And so you need to step out on that scene and be the best damn person that you can be.
Of course.
So, well, that for me, that wraps it up.
Yeah.
We did good.
I have nothing else to say. I think everything has been said. I enjoyed this one. You made me, Pearl, you made me laugh.
Girl, you started and cry at the same time.
You made me laugh. You made me laugh and cry. Just so much. But I so enjoyed tonight's conversation, and I definitely think it was needed. But the one thing that I want people to know and understand is that, like I said, me and Pearl, like we are working women, so we tired. We tired. But because we wanted so badly to get this out and to talk about these topics and to keep our voice heard through y'all's, speakers and computers or phones, whatever. We were like, you know what? Let's reschedule, but let's make sure we get it done though. And so, kudos to us for getting it done. But, you know, don't be afraid to tell people when you're tired or when you are just not feeling it. Like, it's totally okay. Like, I promise y'all it's okay.
That saying it's okay to be okay. And
it's okay to not be
okay. There you go. Okay not to be okay.
Yes.
And that holds so much truth. And I think for me personally, that's something that I had to really work on. And, you know, some things that I had to that I've gone to therapy and grief counseling over that I had to work over, not knowing that I needed to, you know, but, you know, it's okay. No one is always going to be up and cheery and happy. If I see a person like that you just always happy and you just always in a good mood and everything is just sunshines and days, like something's wrong with you. You might be a serial killer.
Baby, that scares me. That scares me so much.
Everybody gonna have their ups and downs. It's a part of life. It's a part of growing, being human, you know? Yeah.
I much rather you show me that you tired of something's going on.
Let me see you struggle.
Let me see your struggles. Here, like ain't nothing wrong, and you secretly dying on the inside now.
Right.
It's time out for that.
You're right, and you don't have to be. You don't have to be.
You don't.
But yes, thank y'all so much for viewing and listening. Yes. We do appreciate it. And we love y'all.
Enjoy it. We love y'all so much and hope y'all enjoy listening and see us act the fool.
Always.
That's one thing. We always gonna act the fool.
Always. It wouldn't be us if we didn't.
We wouldn't.
No, ma'am.
But all right, y'all. Y'all be good and great and start learning to love yourself.
Absolutely. It's the best decision you'll ever make.
It totally is.
All right, y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.